me. I don't even really know what to say. I'm just still in awe of this buck.
Well, there he is. It's starting to rain on me, so I don't have a whole lot of time. Problem about hunting over here in Maryland is a lot of things. Yeah, this is a big fun to do. This is not like this is not like a little project. Hello, welcome back to East Coast Bucks. This is season 2. I want to welcome everybody back from last year, and I want to welcome any new viewers, that are just new to East Coast Bucks. And bear with me, guys, that have seen this before, but let me explain what East Coast Bucks is to the new people who wonder what in the world is East Coast Bucks. All East Coast Bucks is a little video series, and I am coming out with a few products, just regionalized. I'm not a big marketing guy. If you'll notice, I don't have any sponsors. I don't promote anything. Now, I tell people what I use, but I don't get anything out of it. I don't try to get anything out of it. I do have my own couple products. Like I say, the East Coast Bucks candy corn is what I hunt over in the early season. That's what this episode's about. This is going to be a Maryland hunt from last year, 2020, 9/11, which 9/11 has a lot of meaning. And I remember going into this hunt last year, I put a lot of work into this hunt, months in advance. You see these episodes, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes, how hard it is to set up to get one of these nice bucks. It's not a giant, but it's a nice deer. It's a nice, respectable East Coast buck, which is what the show's all about, to show everybody out there that we have some pretty decent deer here on the East Coast. We've got some great hunting opportunities, and we don't all get to go out on these guided week-long hunts or 2-week hunts, where we have a film crew over our back, and whatever happens that week is what the show is. That's different shows, which I enjoy those shows. I'm just pointing out the differences. A lot of other formats, they have a guide that tells them, you're going to sit in this stand, the deer's going to come from this way, we think. You can shoot this one, can't shoot that one. Obviously, I don't have to point out that that's something entirely different. This is more about, guys like myself who we scout year-round. We put years, months into, figuring out these spots where these deer like to travel through, figuring out new spots, constantly getting properties yanked from us and having to scout new properties, which I'm always on the lookout for new properties. No matter if it's 5 acres, I'm going to at least go take a trip through it. If I've, gained access to it, get permission on it, you'd be shocked. The show you get ready to see was a property I had permission on for probably 10 years. Walked it one time, I said, it's not worth my time. That's when I used to be stupid. But anyways, I learned a little bit over the past few years, and this property had a little more potential than I thought, and that East Coast Bucks candy corn really brought out what's in there. And started having a new view on some of these quote-unquote, terrible properties. So that works fine and well in Maryland where you can do it. In Virginia, you can't do it. It's perfectly legal in Maryland on private land. And early season, it works like a charm. They're either coming to a bean field, a standing corn field, or if you don't have access to that, which I didn't this year, I had bean fields, but there was 10 other guys hunting them. So I'm like, you know what? Let me make my own little food plot, which I did. And that's what that East Coast Bucks candy corn does. And, you know, it's not for everybody. Some guys don't like hunting over corn. But at the early season and the late season, you can't hardly beat it over in Maryland. And, you know, like I've said before, it's legal in about half the states. You know, it's your decision whether you want to, you know, do it or not. But my view on it is Virginia allows dog hunting. These states allow this state allows that. I'll leave it up to the viewer to make your mind up on what you like to hunt, what you think is right, what you think is wrong. I'm not here for political purposes. I'm just here to show you if it's legal and it works good, which it does, as you'll see, why not try it? If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Nothing against the guys that are against it. I used to be one of those guys here years ago, more from my ignorance of it, because I hunted over it and I thought, this don't even work. This is stupid. You know, I'm wasting my time. This is a gimmick, you know. That's what I thought for years, and I've been hunting for 40 years. Bow hunting for 40 years. So I thought that for over half my hunting, you know, career. But anyways, since I started experimenting with it and learning a little bit more about it, completely changed my attitude. And I think after you see this season, it might change a few of your attitudes as well. Again, this is that East Coast Bucks candy corn. It's not regular corn. We'll get into that later. So let me set up what this hunt is. I had 2 bucks coming into this set. I've been working on these bucks for about 2 months. That's how much, 2 months that I had them coming in. Now, I had this stand set from 2 years before that, but the year before I didn't have any shooters on it. So I had a lot of cameras set out in the area, had these 2 shooters coming in, and I told myself, I said, you know, both of them are good. The first one that comes in with a good shot opportunity, I'm self-filming all this. It's very hard to pull off. They come in right self-filming, and I've already made my mind up to shoot them. I'm going to shoot them. So he's not the biggest one that I ended up getting this year, but he's a good buck, and I'm happy to have him. And let's jump right into it. One other thing I want to point out before we go into the actual hunt. These hunts this year, what I'm going to do different. It takes a little bit of while because I have quite a bit of footage. I hunt a lot, obviously. So I have a lot of footage. So most of these shows are going to run around, trying to keep them around 20 minutes. You know, that's without advertisements and, you know, just kind of getting right to the action, not really stretching them out or anything. I'm going to do a follow-up part to each one of these successful hunts, explaining my tactics, explaining the setup, and going into more detail so that I can kind of show, for new guys, you know, we all haven't been hunting for, you know, multiple years. There's a lot of guys that are new that, you know, are trying to learn things from these type of shows. So I'm going to do a part 2 to each one of these episodes that's going to be purely technical, basically. It's not going to have a whole lot of deer footage in it. It's going to show you the stand set. It's going to show you why I set the stand there, wind direction, my access to the stand, and things like that. All the things that you don't hear on these guided hunts that the guide takes all that away from them. You know, these guides, they don't just set these stands up out in the blue and throw out some corn and the deer come running in there and you shoot them. It don't work like that. So let's jump into it. Opening day over in Maryland, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll be back to you here after we watch the show.
Okay, welcome back. So I looked for that deer last night. I thought he was going to be dead just right over this hill right here. I got down here looking around, found my Lumenok arrow lit up about 15 yards from where I shot him. And looked like he made a beeline right down this big hill. I mean, this is a heck of a hill. You'll see as we walk down here. Well, I got looking all around last night, and I couldn't find that sucker. Had very little blood. I mean, very little blood. And I mean, it blew right through him. I went home, reviewed the footage, and I'm like, I know that's a dead deer. He's got to be dead. I mean, it just smoked him. It might have been a couple inches further back than I wanted, but you know, he was starting to angle away when I shot. That's the reason I shot when I did. So anyways, I looked around, went home, reviewed the footage, and I definitely smoked him. I knew he would be right in here. So I got down here this morning, and like I say, it's a heck of a steep hill. So I peeked over this hill, and it didn't take me, I mean, I might have looked for 5 minutes. And it's such a steep hill, it worked out good because there's a little plateau down there. And I could see that old white belly. So I walked a little bit ways down there to him. And I'm going to turn the camera around, we'll walk up on him and have a look at this sucker. I don't know if you can see him down through there. From higher on that hill you could see him real good, but I'll zoom in on him. That's all I could see from up there was that white belly, which is a dead giveaway usually. So let's walk down here on him, see what we got. Gotta be careful coming down this hill, it's awful wet. I was debating on shooting this buck. There's another 8-pointer about the same caliber as him, and actually this one might score a little better. It's got longer tines and I think longer brow tines, but that's where he's at right there. There he is right there. Oh man, what a pretty buck. Good Lord, look at that evening here in Southern Maryland. Another big 8 hits the dirt. East Coast bucks, what a pretty buck. Don't really even want to show you that hole that Schwacker left coming out. Them flies are starting to get on it now. It did so much damage, but it's hard not to show it. I mean, it looked like a grenade launcher went through them. I mean, that's just a sin right there. Look at that. First evening over here in Maryland. Glad I bought that bonus tag. If you don't love this, then you need to check your blood pressure, because you ain't alive. Let me tell you, I've shot quite a few, not the 2-motor horn, but I've shot so many 8-pointers, but it never gets old. I mean, look at this, just a big, beautiful, probably 23-inch wide, big wide 8-pointer. Real chocolate horns, thick bases. He's about what I thought he was. There was one that was probably slightly bigger, but this one come in so perfect, and it was, you know, on 9/11, and actually this would be the earliest deer I ever shot. I've shot quite a few in September, but never one on opening evening, at least not this nice. Back in the day when I shot all comers, I shot a few small ones back in my teen years, but September 11th, this is a tribute buck, and this is what it's all about right here.
Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the hunt. Just wanted to reiterate what I said at the beginning, that you know, there's going to be a part 2 to each one of these episodes, and it's going to go over the technical aspects of those hunts. It just takes up too much time to try to put that into the main show. Otherwise the shows are going to run, you know, upwards of 45 minutes. I'm trying to keep them down around 20 minutes, and then with the technical part I'm trying to keep, that's going to only be about 10 minutes. But it's going to give you all the info on why I set up where I set up, what I was thinking was going to happen, what ended up happening, you know, kind of a learning thing for me as well. Each one of these hunts I learned something from. You know, I learned how these deer react to the different ways I come in, the different stand placements. You know, was he coming from a thicket? Was he coming from an open patch? A lot of these bucks will try to be slick, and you think he's always, everybody always thinks the big buck's going to come out of the thickest patch of the woods. And I got news for you, that doesn't always happen. I've seen that some of the biggest ones I've shot have come from the most open side of the stand that I was hunting because they're that slick. He knows how, he might scent check the thick side, but he'll end up coming to the open side just because he knows, you know, to be on the lookout where he can see a little better. So that's some of the things that we're going to go over in the part 2 in the technical aspects of each one of these episodes. And I hope you enjoyed it. And please spread the word about East Coast Bucks. It's all regional action here on Maryland and Virginia. And I wish everybody luck. And there's a lot more good shows coming out this year. Thank you.